Recently, the Ministry of Health has advised to establishment of the sugar and oil boards in different regions of government, schools, educations, etc. offices that have been there. Hello, this is Pratyusha. Today, I'm going to discuss what is this sugar board, what is this oil board, what is the problem with the obesity, then what is the problem with the diabetics that is being present, what are the different statistics that say about the current data with the citizens in the health concern, what are the different recommendations that are being given by the WHO and also the Nutrition Institute of India that's been present. So coming to the topic, when we see what is the sugar board that's been there. So presently, the context is that Indian government has taken an initiative stating that to promote the healthier dietary and to induce the visual behavior to nudge the people to make healthier choices. It means that they're going to show different impacts of the sugar, how much sugar intake is being present in each product that we have been drinking or each product that we have been consuming, and how much amount of sugar is going into the body and how much amount of trans fat will be generated by that. Now here, if you see the data that has been available, the projected or obesity that has been present in India, it has been projected that in 2021 is around 18 crores of people were been suffering from the overweight or obesity that's been there, and whereas at the projection of 2050 almost 44.9% is what the obesity is being present, and generalized obesity is around 25.4 crore and abnormal obesity is somewhere around 35.1 that is being present. Now when you see what are the things that have been there, what is this oil board or what is this sugar board that's been there? It is a display of the regions, or this is a display of the sugar or the oil consuming by the citizens or the students. Now in the May 2025, the CBSE has introduced the sugar boards in various schools that have been there, where they have made the posters regarding how much amount of sugar is being present with different drinks. For example, bread, the hydrated drinks that have been present, or the chocolates that have been there, or the fruit drinks that have been present. Now all these data has been observed. Now when something is being there on the board stating this much sugar is being entering into the body, now we will be thinking, we are given a little bit ideology about this sugar is not healthy, so unhealthy drinks, unhealthy food should be avoided. Now similar way, on the same lines, now the government is also been introducing the oil boards that have been there, not just the obesity that's been present. We have been having large amount of trans fat that has been there, large amount of the high saturated fat, highly processed foods that have been there. Consumption has been increased more. Now this is where we have the oil boards that have been there, where it is either digital or it is static posters will be there, where citizens will be given large amount of negative consequences of consuming excess of the fats or harmful oils that have been present. Now when we see the statistical data that is being present, according to the National Family Health Survey that is being present, around 24.4% of our citizens are overweight or obese that is being present, and hypertension regarding large amount of salt intake that's been there. In men it is around 30% and in women it's around 29% that's being present. And diabetics, in men 20% men are in the diabetic and around 17% men are in the women are in the diabetic stage that's been there. And accordingly, the Lancet Global Burden of the Disease Research, now it has stated that by 2050 around 44.9 crore people will be obese or overweight that's been there. And now we can see in 2021 it's just 18 crore that's been there. From 18 crore by 2050 it's around 44.9 crore people, large amount of people. Now we have many different reasons that have been there, where we are being highly influenced, or we are likability towards immediate foods, the fast foods, or the foods, the snacks that have been available. Now there is a discussion, there is a origin foods that have been there, origin of the foods that have been present, where not just about the Western foods, even the Indian foods that have been there, for example the samosa or else the different Indian snacks that have been there, they have been fried in the oil. These oil that have been there, it's been boiled for long period of time, which releases large amount of saturation fat, highly saturated fat, and also the trans fat has been released. Now this is very harmful for the health. Now we can see different effects of the diabetes and the different effects of the obesity that's been there. For example, the diabetes has been causing the sugar that's been there, eye damage will be caused, large amount of cardiovascular diseases, nerve damage also will be influenced by the diabetes. And with consumption of large amount of oils, we have heart diseases, diabetes, joint pain, sleep apnea, hypertension has been observed. Now these are some of the things that have been present, health effects have been there due to large consumption of sugar and the oil that's been there. Now lastly, we different recommendations that are being suggested. According to WHO, they are been having a healthy diet that's been present, or it's been promoting a particular diet that's been there, where we are having the carbohydrates that are being present, somewhere 55 to 75% should be present. Fats that have been there, it should be around 15 to 30%. Proteins around 10 to 15%. Along with it, we have to have vitamins, minerals and the water. Sufficient amount of water is also being required. So this completes a healthy diet for the person that's been there. Same way, similarly, the Indian Council of Medical Research and the National Institute of Nutrition, now they also has initiated an Indian version of the diet, healthy diet that's been there regarding different age groups, different gender that is being present, because the girl needs different types of nutrition food, a man needs different types of nutrition food, a woman after 30s need a different type of nutrition food, or else the old age people needs a different types of nutrition food. Generally, it has been suggested that the sugar intake should be less than 5 spoons per day, and whereas the oil intake should be less than 4 to 10 spoons per day. Now this oil also should be majorly coming from the pulses, nuts, the seeds that are being there, and less amount of saturated food, less amount of processed food should be encouraged in the day. Now similar, they have given emphasis on, large amount of emphasis has been given on the diversified food intake, large amount of different intake. Millet should be there, rice should be present, leafy vegetables should be present. We also have to take large amount of seasonal fruits that have been there. Now while intaking, we also have to have a cautious intake of adequate macronutrients and also adequate micronutrients. Now for a comprehensive multi-pronged approach, a multi-diet approach should be present for our decrease of obesity, for decreasing the cardiovascular diseases that have been present, and decrease the intake of the oils that have been there. Now with this sugar board and the oil boards, the people will be enriched, people will be educated. We have many different influences, social media that's been there, where they are highlighting the effects of the oil intake, highlighting the effects of the sugar intake. Thank you.